Imagine a guy named Aaron. He's 23, just finished college, and for the most part, all of his days blend together. Now, he wakes up late, he scrolls through his phone, plays some games, and meets some people. It's not like he hates life, it's not that he loves it either. Inside, there is this question that Aaron asks himself every time he sees everyone else. What am I doing with my life? Now, it's not that Aaron never feels motivated. There are sparks of motivation he gets, like whenever he watches a video, motivational video or something. But he writes a to do list, and the next day, all of that fades away. Same old, same old. Now, it's not that Aaron does not want to grow, because every time he sees his family, friends achieve that goal, he feels this disappointed in himself. That's why today's video is so important for whoever feels like Aaron or ever felt like Aaron. Because today we're not just about talking about goals, we're talking about the art of setting goals and how to achieve them. We're moving from that foggy, stuck place to a life of clarity with movement, intention, and momentum. Part 1, set goals you control. Let's start with the foundation. Your goals, they need to be specific. Specific, not vague like be successful or get fit. Those are vague and you don't see the outcome. When you set goals, you need to be able to visualize the outcome like you're watching a movie on a screen. That's how the goals should be set. And the goals need to be something you can control, because most times when we set goals, we set goals that we cannot control. We cannot control through our efforts and stuff. So that's why what we need to do is actually set goals that we can control. For example, here's a specific and goal you can imagine, envision, and which you can control. That being, if you set a goal something like, I want to have 100,000 views on my videos by the end of the year. That is not in your control. That is in the control of the algorithm. That is in the control of the viewers. So you can't control that. What you can do is, I want to publish 2 videos each month for a whole year in YouTube. That is something you can control. That is something you can take responsibility for. So set goals you can take responsibility for. Part 2, making the action plan. So this is where most people mess it up, because before we just divide the goals into quarter, weeks, months, right? What we need to do is we need to actually understand our goal, right? We need to understand the nuances of the goal, how long it's going to take. We need to divide it into different parts, different sections, what we need to do, what we need to learn, who do we need to meet, how long it's going to take, because some tasks are going to take one day, some are going to take a month, right? So we need to be very specific and find out the nuances about it. And that's how we make an action plan. From now, we have the first step, gave us the target, the goal we have to hit. Now, what we are going to do is step 1 to step 10. Step 1, you are the beginner. Step 10, you hit the target. That's what we are going to build, right? Now, from step 1 to step 10, to get from step 1 to step 10, that's when we come to part number 3, dividing them into quarters, weekly, and monthly goals. Now, start with your yearly goal that we set in the first step, right? Then the big vision, and then we'll break it down into 4 paths, right? 4 major milestones. So those are going to be 4 quarters of your year, right? 3 months each. Why 3 months? Because it's short enough to not lose motivation, and it's long enough to complete and get a real work done. And there is also why we have dividing it in 4 quarters, because every time we complete the single quarter, we have learned something new, so we can reiterate our plan in the next quarter, so we can make it better and achieve the goal faster. So this will 4x your progress in your life overall if you do it this way. And it works for me like absolutely best. And 4 quarters will be divided into monthly goals, where you will have each month you will have a separate goal that is related to the quarterly goal. Now you will divide that monthly goal into a weekly goal, so every week you have a different goal, and each of this should be done in that start of that month or that week. Not like at the start of the year you divide everything, right? Every time you divide it, it should be at the first day of that week, that month, or that quarter. that's when you can like actually reiterate your plan and do it better and better and better, right? So with that said, now that you have divided into weekly, quarterly and monthly goal, which change should look like this, something like this, I'll put it up on screen. It's no longer just about motivation or productivity. Now we are making a system that moves us forward with purpose in mind and with intention in mind. Part 4, daily execution with flexibility, the 333 system. Now that you have broken down your goals, you know the nuances of your goals, you know the details about your goals, what we are going to do is set out daily tasks. We are going to work and progress into that goal day by day, because I always emphasize this: consistency is better than doing all the work in single day and batching them, because batching them will get you burned out. Your brain doesn't work well. Little work every day will help you concentrate more, focus more, get that deep work session in, right? So every night take 5 minutes and plan the day next day while looking at your weekly goals. And that's how you make the plans, right? That's how you adapt your plans according to the weekly goals. Now, the system I use is the 333 system. That has helped me a lot. I've been using it for 3-4 years and it's been a game changer for me. 3 must do tasks, 3 nice to haves, and 3 maintenance tasks. 3 must do, those are non negotiable. Even if the world is crumbling around you, you have to do those 3 tasks. 3 nice to haves. After you are done with the must haves, the priorities, then you can do the nice to haves, right? It's totally optional. It just makes you feel better that you have accomplished something. Now, 3 maintenance tasks, one of the most important things people forget. Journaling, meditation, fitness, walking, hobbies, those are all coming to maintenance tasks to reset your brain and feel better for the next day. Get that reward system, get that dopamine system, okay? Now, why this method? This method gives you structure, focus, and flexibility. And it will help you actually make progress without feeling burned out or overloaded. You're no longer now reacting to your goals. You are actually planning them and you are actually taking action on them. Now, look, setting goals aren't just about being productive or, checking all the boxes like a machine. It's about alignment. It's about matching your actions with who you want, who you really are, and where you are going. Because that's what actual people do. And so we don't end up like Aaron or Adam from my last video, living on autopilot and feeling down even if it seems like everything is good on the outside. Right? So, because if you don't have goals, real personal goals, right, the life will drag you in 100 different directions and none of it will be yours. So if you have watched my last video on soul tiredness, this video is the next part of getting better, next piece of the puzzle. And that video was all about slowing down and reconnecting with yourself. And this video is about getting that reconnection and bringing something out and making progress. Now we are starting to make progress. We are deciding what we want to do after reconnecting with our previous self. And if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you watch that video. I'll put it up around here. Especially if you're feeling burned out or if you feel like you are lazy, you should definitely watch this video. And remember, you don't have to figure it all out. You just need to make movement, intentional movement. And that's all. I'll see you there in the next one. Bye bye. Peace.